you move overseas, you get off the plane, you're in a country, at least here I've never been to before. Yeah, it is an adventure. The first week, it's an adventure to find the grocery store. It's an adventure to figure out what to eat. It's an adventure to figure out how to get to practice. It's not even living on your own. It's just all the little things you don't think about that are different. So yeah, absolutely fact. It's an adventure.
What's going on, Brandon?
What's up? How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
So this is the 9th episode of 2026, the Baseline Podcast, brought to you by Athletes for Israel. And we are so excited to have Brandon Angel with us today.
Appreciate you guys having me.
First thing we're going to do is kind of just run through your career so far, just so the listeners can kind of get a big glimpse of where you're at. So you're from San Diego.
From San Diego.
You spent 4 years at Stanford.
Yep.
So chasing that degree, chasing that degree, econ degree, right?
Econ, yeah.
Yeah, so brains and ball is what we're talking about with Stanford. Then you transfer over to Oregon, played a year over at Oregon, and now you're in your first year overseas.
Yeah.
And in between that, you played a summer league with Phoenix.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
welcome.
Did your homework.
So sometimes I miss one, and I'm always like, damn, but I feel like I got them all this time.
Yeah, there you go.
So take us back all the way to the beginning. When the ball was first put in your hands, where did the love of the game come from?
Starting from the beginning, started playing basketball organized for the first time. I mean, obviously the little plastic hoop in the backyard is probably my first memory playing basketball. My parents never forced me into sports. They kind of just let me do what I wanted. Growing up, played football, basketball, baseball.
Surfed?
Golf. Didn't surf. Can't do that. But yeah, played a ton of sports, and it was mainly just the guys you grew up with, going to the park playing. I mean, any sport. You put the same guys we played football in the fall with. You're playing basketball in the winter with baseball. So it was super fun. There's obviously no pressure at that age. And then basketball probably started around kindergarten, playing rec league. A bunch of the same guys. And then my parents actually coached our rec league team from my mom and dad from kindergarten to 5th grade. So it was awesome. I mean, we got a group of guys I've known, you got to grow up with, and parents coaching, and they're really big on the fundamentals. So that's kind of the foundation of my game, is just playing simple basketball and being efficient. Looking back, that was an amazing opportunity, being around them. And my dad coached a bunch of other sports. My mom, she coached our basketball team. But some of my best memories in basketball and just having fun. I think that's what love of game started. I realized just how much fun it was. And then probably come middle school, it kind of started to click about all right, it's time to get a little more serious. It's not just fun game, really learning what work ethic was and putting in the extra time. And then I was fortunate that my parents were obviously always super supportive. My dad we'd shoot all the time. Every day after work, he would take me, and it was never, his thing was he would never be the one we need to go shoot tonight. If I asked, I knew I would always have a rebounder or someone to work out and help me with. And so obviously super appreciative that he took a ton of time for him to do that and made a lot of sacrifices. And then my mom, super competitive person as well. So that's probably where I get a little bit of that fire. And then the three of us together, all competitive people. So that kind of instilled the fire. And I hate losing.
Do they compete? They compete on who gets to coach you sometimes?
No, they both give me their opinions, but they're really good about kind of giving me my space after games. But I know I can always count on them for an opinion, whether it's what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, I know, knowing you have someone who always has your best interest. There's no ulterior motives. They just want what's best for me. And times when I'm frustrated, it's hard to look past that. But I know once I calm down after a game, it's these people, they want what's best for me. They're giving me just objective facts about the game.
That's incredible, because a lot of times as people get higher up in their career, whether it's going to high D1 or now playing pro, there comes a lot of yes men, kind of just oh yeah, chase the money, do this, do that.
No.
Versus when you have this support system behind you that is just going to tell you how they see it and what they think is best. It's almost invaluable.
Invaluable, and it keeps you grounded, and also someone you can turn to, and they're not going to, like you said, they're not going to tell you what you want to hear. You're just getting the truth, and whether you want to hear it or not, I mean, that helps so much. I'm super grateful for it. But they've definitely been a huge part of my basketball journey, whether it's during the recruiting process and everything. I can't speak highly enough of what they've done.
I want to ask you, this court represents your first year as a pro. What has it demanded from you?
I mean, probably the biggest difference is just your time off the court, to be honest. I think my habits are still the same. I feel like I have a good foundation. And I've been around a lot of people who have shown me what it is to be a pro before I was necessarily a pro. So what it's like taking care of your body, getting in extra reps, making sure you're locked in, watching film, and how to do all that. But it's more so you just have more time in your hands. I mean, it's the first time in my life I've just had basketball, and there's no school, there's nothing else to worry about. So it's how to keep yourself occupied outside of basketball so you can perform your best on the court, whether that's doing extra recovery at home, Normatec, stretching, whatever you can do. And then also just occupying your time in a productive way rather than just, it's easy to just sit around all day, which I fall victim of sometimes, but I had a little bit of that experience last year where school wasn't as demanding for me at Oregon, but out here, obviously it's different. You're on your own, obviously hang out with the guys, go to lunch, do what we can, and then just make sure basketball is obviously your job. It's the best job in the world, right? Love it and want to trade it for the world. But at the end of the day, when there's nothing else going on, if basketball is going good, life's great most of the time. Obviously, you have the problems in life outside of basketball, but if that's held constant, like nothing's going on there, and basketball's going good, life's good. But then on the flip side of it, it's basketball starts going bad. You have nothing else to take your mind off it. Everything just feels worse, and life's bad. You know what I mean? So keep it in perspective and try to just keep the things separate and make sure basketball doesn't bleed on to the other parts of your life that are also important is probably the biggest thing that I've noticed.
So now going back, now you talked about high school a little bit. When did you start to first say, okay, like I think I'm separating myself? Now let's start talking about recruiting even and things like that going into high school.
Probably high school. I still played other sports. I played football until my junior year of high school.
What position?
Quarterback.
Nice.
I kind of made a decision at the end of my sophomore year that I knew like I wasn't gonna have time for both. I was gonna be selling myself short in one, and basketball is what I really love. So, but I think even before that, probably around my freshman year, I really shifted gears to all right. Like I'm putting in the work. I'm shooting almost every night, getting workouts in, but really just I'm gonna switch gears and I'm just gonna outwork everyone. And I was probably a late bloomer athletically. I wasn't super athletic. I could always shoot the ball. And I kind of realized, all right, like I'm going to maximize my potential, and I'm going to give it a fair chance. And if I work as hard as I can and can look myself in the mirror at night saying, I've given this everything I got and fall short, I can live with that. But I never want to live with regret. And I think that's the biggest thing that clicked for me is just how much time you need to put into this. And you can close the gap. And I mean, the work is what gives you confidence in the games. That's something that kind of my parents taught me as well. And it's like carried on to today that the work you put in outside of practice, outside of the games, that's what gives you confidence when you get in the game. And I mean, that means a ton.
Were you playing AAU leading up to when you made your decision to fully go for basketball?
I've always played AAU.
Always played AAU?
Always played AAU
Okay.
from middle school
What team?
on. I played when I was younger, it was Team San Diego All-Stars, and then shifted over to Game Point.
Okay.
Last year, my 17U year, they're on.
Was it on EYBL or
Adidas?
Adidas?
Yeah.
So what was it like playing against that level of competition?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I love competing. Obviously, growing up, not playing. I wasn't one of the kids who played AAU from a super young age. So kind of that first year playing for like a smaller local team, you kind of see like, all right, like it's bigger than this small little pond I live in. There's some people who can really play.
Yeah.
And then as you get older and older, as I'm here, like I can compete with these guys, and now it's like let's bring on the challenge. Like let's really see where I stack up and go out there and compete, and that's all you can ask for.
So what was the recruiting process like? Now you know you're playing AAU, playing on the Adidas circuit, which is arguably the best tie for the best with the IBL, depending on who you ask. You know, circuit you can go with. You're starting to look at college. What's the recruiting process for you like?
So I had nothing my sophomore year. My first offer, UC San Diego. That had to be right before my junior year of high school. So sophomore spring, maybe. Just at that time they were D2, converted to D. They would be D1 by the time I got there. And then going into the first live period of AAU in the spring was kind of, all right, it's like time. I have a lot of interest, but that was really the big opportunity. Maybe picked up a couple mid-major offers in Ivy, I think Princeton, and then Boston, stuff like that. And I was really, like I felt like my game took a big jump my junior year. Athletically, got a little better, skill-wise, and this first live period was like supposed to be the time, and I broke my ankle the Tuesday before the live period. Flying out on Thursday, step on someone's foot, break my ankle. Damn. Missed the live period. So I mean, that was kind of a setback.
Yeah.
I mean, the AU calendar now is a little shorter too. So do the rehab, do what I can, and then the next live period I played in was I don't know if you guys know now, there's like a high school live period where instead it used to just be AU. So we played out in Arizona and had a pretty good weekend there. I think I got like 10 or 12 offers on the bus ride home.
Pretty
from
good.
that.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. And that's where I started picking up some like high major interest. And I don't know, it goes back to like maximizing your opportunity. I think probably the biggest game I have, well, most of the Pac-12 coaches that were there weren't there for me. They were there for a 7-footer on the other team. And just, you never know who's watching, and compete and play. And it ended up working out. And then kind of from there, that was really, all right, like maybe I am, like this is the level I can play at. I always believe that, but having that validation kind of gives you a little more fuel to the fire of now let's not just be there, like let's really go somewhere I can make a difference at that level. And that gave me a little extra belief. Not that I needed more confidence in myself, but just having that validation was for sure. It's not like this is what I want to do. No, this is the reality of like this is where I'm going to end up now. Like let's take the next step of really making a difference there.
So you pick up all these different offers. What was so special about Stanford that you ended up going there?
My parents were huge on academics growing up. They always student athlete. If I got a B in the classroom, I wasn't allowed to play sports that like semester. That was their rule.
A B?
A B.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was school came first and then sports, and that's definitely where like the foundation of Stanford thing. But it's taking pride in everything that you do. I think for me, if I'm going to be in the classroom, like you have an assignment, if I'm going to put my name on something, I'm not just going to give 50% on the assignment. It's whatever you do it to the best of your ability. And that's kind of how I just viewed school. And I mean, my parents may have set the foundation, but as I got older, it's kind of just taking upon myself, like, let's do things the right way. And school's one of those things. Like I enjoy most things in school. Like I'm fortunate school came a little easier to me where I didn't have to put a ton of time in outside the classroom. But yeah, I enjoyed like the challenge of certain things in school and enjoyed learning. And then I knew it's something that I cared about. I value education. And I mean, kind of growing up in California, Stanford's probably the highest academic place you can find. And also at the same time, you can play Power 5 basketball, right? So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So that once Stanford kind of was in the picture, it's tough. It was really tough to beat that. I mean, like I said, you get arguably the best education in the world, and at the same time, get to play in the Pac-12. That's, I guess now they're ACC, but back then, Pac-12 basketball, what you grew up watching, all the big schools,
Conference of Champions,
Conference of Champions, and get a world-class degree. So that was tough to beat.
So how did Stanford kind of like, how did it shape you as a person, like beyond basketball?
Beyond basketball, probably just the level of people that you're surrounded by just pushes you and shows you that, like, yeah, you may be one of the smartest people in your high school, and it's kind of like basketball, right? Like your girl group, there's some people who are just better, and being surrounded by, I mean, they say it's kind of cliche, but like surrounded by future CEOs, future leaders, and just some of the sharpest people you've ever been around. Like, it's like, all right, like I need the same. It's hard to find that competitiveness outside of sports, but I think at Stanford, you can kind of find that academically a little bit of like, a lot of the people there like are used to being the smartest person in the room, and like you don't want that to go away. Like once you're one of the best, something you never want to let the people behind you catch up. And I kind of found at Stanford, it's like, oh, like, yeah, this person's pretty smart. Like let me catch up. Like kind of playing a game of chase with some people. And I mean, there's some brilliant people you're around where it's taken me 30 minutes to do a problem, and by the time I'm done reading it, they're 2 minutes done. It's just like, wow. So being surrounded by that level, it's like it just made the environment feel more competitive. And then, but we were super independent. We didn't get any extra help. And looking back, like I don't know, I talked to my roommate Stanford's one of my best friends, and looking back and just telling the stories, like, man, we were about to play number 3 UCLA in the country on the road. And in between getting your ankles taped and the 40 minutes before, ankles taped at the hotel and bus departing the hotel, 2 hours before a tip-off, we're sitting in our hotel room on Stata, like grinding out a problem set because like we don't have enough time. It's due at midnight. Like we have to get this question done. It's like it's unbelievable. But
That's nuts.
I mean, that's kind of the one I go to. But looking back, like that's all we knew at the time. You know what I mean? Like we didn't go to any other schools. Like this is just what college was.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, we knew it was tough and it was challenging at times. Like it was busy, but looking back, it was an amazing experience. And the group of guys we were surrounded with, I think, made the experience. I mean, teammates there were amazing and lifelong friends. So,
But at the same time, you also have NIL creep in during this time, right?
so NIL crept in my junior year at Stanford, and I don't think it was as big at the time. Obviously, the first year people were kind of just navigating it, so it wasn't as big. It didn't play as big of a role at that time. And then, I mean, as you've seen, like year in year out, NIL has gotten crazier and crazier.
Insane.
It's insane. So, by the time, that was never. People weren't leaving Stanford because of NIL. Also, at that point, you're a year away from a degree, so like, it doesn't really make sense to leave. But yeah, NIL definitely plays a role now in college basketball, arguably more than anything.
So when you first get to Stanford, you only play 17 games your freshman year. You average about 2 a game. And so
17 is generous, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Maybe 10 that really matter.
Maybe 10 that matter. All right. So you have this, like you don't come in with a massive role. You come in, I mean, obviously in your head, you're like, I'm chasing this incredible degree. Stanford's one of the best in the world. And also you're playing Power 5 basketball, but you don't have that role yet. So what is it mentally like to come in as a freshman? As you said, you were smartest in the room in many places. You were best at basketball in the room in many places. And now you're at a place where you're not getting that role. You know, what was that mentally like for you to come in like that?
Obviously, that team was super talented. I mean, COVID, we had some of the worst COVID protocols in the country. I mean, it was ridiculous. That's a conversation for a whole nother time.
It's an off-camera one, we could, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, we had a ton of talent. So it's just making the most of that year. I mean, you can't sit there and dwell that you're not playing. It's what can I do to get better? Let's stay in the gym every day, improve. And to be honest, like the guys ahead of me were better than me. I mean, Oscar da Silva, he was the vet of that team at the time, and being able to learn from him to see how he approached the game. I mean, his leadership, I mean, incredible on the court. He could do it all, did it all for us. So, I mean, being able to learn from that year was invaluable. Whether it was him, the staff at the time, I mean, the staff there was incredible, how much time they spent. They're always around every night. There was a coach in the gym with me, and it was amazing. So, shout out to Coach Cohen those years, and then after he left and took another job, David Birkin was in the gym every night with me. So can't thank them enough. And yeah, the development part was a huge piece, and it was kind of Stanford, like you said, NIL and the transfer portal isn't huge at Stanford, so it wasn't they're bringing in a new guy over your head to take your minutes. You kind of could develop. You had time to develop, and year in, year out, Coach Mike Chapman in the weight room was amazing. I was 197 pounds my last game of high school, and then I played my junior year at 237 pounds. So,
damn.
I mean, that was probably the biggest
bulked
difference. I
you up.
wasn't physically ready for that level coming out of high school, and that was, I mean, I needed time. Like, you got to be real with yourself. Like, I needed time, and those guys like Oscar, they were in a better position to help the team win games. Now, in no way does that take away from like the desire to be on the court. Like, there's no doubt it is frustrating to like not be on the court, especially when you think like I still thought I could help the team win, but it's just control what you can control. I'm not going to control that. I know. Yeah, I knew I had a fair opportunity. There was no doubt about that, but also just make the most of it. Use the time to develop and run your own race. Kind of what I tell everyone. I mean, everyone's path is different. I think my path at Stanford is just like kind of shows keep your head down and just get better year in and year out, and then you can give yourself a chance.
And then every year you kept getting better.
Yeah.
You stayed there for a while. You were there for 4 years. In your 4th year, if it's right here, it was like your 2nd year, you're like around 20 minutes and 25 minutes. Then I guess last year was like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So you kept increasing because you stayed at that same school. And like you said, the staff was incredible. You were developing with them. So being there for 4 years, what was so special about that?
Like Stanford's a one-of-a-kind place, like we talked about, academically, athletically, and I mean the same side of the coin of there's some of the smartest people in the world. There's also some of the best athletes in the world, and it may not be. Obviously, there's football, basketball, but like the amount of Olympians Stanford pumps out is ridiculous.
Nuts.
And kind of just you're surrounded by success at all times, and that kind of pushes you to want to succeed more. But I've never been a jump ship kind of person, going back to the loyalty piece. And I think loyalty is something that means a ton to me. And obviously the staff, they took a chance on me out of high school. They were nothing but great to me. And Coach Haas, super grateful to have him as a coach. He's just one of the best people I've been around. So I was never going to leave as long as they were there. And yeah, loyalty. It's just, they're doing right by you, and I think that should be reciprocated. And I wanted to, winning at Stanford would have meant more than winning at any other place. Like, it really would have. So having that opportunity, there was no way I was leaving. And yeah, I had an I knew I was in a good situation, had an opportunity to develop. And then, I mean, as I improved, my role kind of improved with it, and I got more freedom, more opportunity each year. And then, yeah, I ended up having a pretty good last year, and was proud of that development.
Not only your role, like, you look at your development, I mean, in limited minutes in your freshman year, you're shooting 25% from three, and then you're finishing.
I started 0 for 13.
Yeah, so yeah, you know, you shot 30% from the field, but then by your fourth year, 54% from the field, 44% from three. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy development. You know, you go from.
Damn, you were so close to 50, 40, 90.
Yeah, I missed
The
4 free throws at Colorado, and then 2 the next game. And I dropped from like 92% down.
That's tough.
82.
Was that a goal of yours to get to 50, 40, 90?
I've always kind of been around there, but I mean, I hate missing free throws. It drives me insane. Yeah. And probably the only person who hates missed free throws more than me is my dad. And so we kind of always joke about that, but I don't think there's any reason that I shouldn't be right around there. So it's frustrating it just feels like every year I've had like 1 or 2 games that's just like taking my free throw numbers down, giving it a nosedive. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not a stat obsessed person. Right. I think freshman year, I knew I hadn't made a shot in a while. You check ESPN app and you're seeing a single digit percent, like 9%, and then 14. It's demoralizing. So I try to stay off that as much as I can and just worry about the game, and that'll all take care of itself.
And continuing at Stanford, you finish your 4 years there. Off the court, you get that econ degree. What was that moment like?
It was great. I was done with my degree after my 3rd year.
Oh, really?
You finished Stanford in 3 years?
Yeah, with
that's
my roommate.
Crazy.
My roommate
How'd you do
did the
that?
same. We were allowed summer classes. You could take 8 units in the summer. That gets you to 24. And then my junior year, I think I went 20, got an exemption, took 22 units during season.
With basketball?
And then 20
Jesus.
in the spring, just in case, gave me an option if something were to happen.
What's like summer like for basketball?
It's standard, the 8 weeks they get. Yeah, every school in America gets the same amount of time. We have class, but I thought that's the time where you have the least amount of basketball. So if you can pick off 1 or 2 like challenging classes, like, yeah, your summer may not be as enjoyable, but when season rolls around, the benefit of taking a tough class in the summer is definitely worth it.
So you finish your degree in 3 years?
In 3, my last year, actually, I wrote an honors thesis. I had an advisor, Jay Bhattacharya. He's actually director of the NIH now, got appointed.
Wow.
This last presidential cycle, yeah. He was super big during COVID, focus protection, and he was actually one of the biggest oppositions to like closures.
Okay.
And shut down. His whole thing was focus prevention. Let's protect the people who need to be protected and let everyone else live their life. And his research, right when COVID happened, kind of showed that the number that was being reported, the death rate, was almost 1,000 times lower than what it really was because of asymptomatic people. So he kind of was the leader in that forefront. He taught a class that I took my junior year. Was super interested by it. It was nice to hear someone at Stanford have like the same view of it as me too. And then we kind of connected after the class, and then maybe I'll write a thesis, because I never was able to have an internship or do anything of that. Some of my teammates did, but I didn't want it. I didn't think it was right to take away from basketball for my path. Like, I thought the time on the court was the most meaningful, and I didn't want to try to juggle both of those things. So I kind of wanted something to like on a resume, and that was the only distinction you could get. That's the only way to graduate with honors, was to write an honors thesis. So I got fortunate. I kind of gamed the system a little bit, where that's all I had to do my senior year. So yeah, wrote that paper my senior year, and that was kind of the academic side of it.
Was there ever a moment where you thought maybe I'll test the waters to go pro earlier? Or were you always like, I am getting this degree regardless?
I don't think I was in a position to go pro early,
okay.
to be honest. I was I was never going to leave Stanford unless I knew, you know what I mean, that you're going to get drafted. And I wasn't in that position at the time.
So there was no thoughts of like going overseas and trying to play early? No?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That time would come. Like I said, I feel like if I'm going to Stanford, I'm going to make the most of that opportunity. And if that was a thought of, I'm just going to see how quick I can get to pro basketball, probably would have gone somewhere else.
True.
Right? You're not going to put yourself through that. And yeah, so no, when that time came. And as much as we've talked about academics here, at the end of the day, like as a competitor, like basketball was the focus. Like you said, like you want to be great in the festival. Like I want to be great on the court. Like at the end of the day, I love basketball, obviously more than school. But yeah, as much as we've talked about academics, basketball is always like at the forefront. I mean, make sure that business is handled, but whatever extra time, it's going to basketball and making sure that I'm giving myself the best possible opportunity.
So you finish up at Stanford, and then you have an opportunity to use your 5th year, and you decide to go to Oregon. What came into that decision?
I mean, going into the portal that year, obviously NIL was a big thing, but I'd never been to the NCAA tournament. So that was like the driving force of behind that decision. It was, I mean, coach would ask all the time, here's the number. I didn't want to talk NIL. I don't want to talk anything. Show me. One, I want to be somewhere where I know we're going to win, or there's a roster that I think we're going to win with, coaching staff that I believe in, and also that believes in me. And then finding the right fit of somewhere where I had a good opportunity to develop as a player and kind of take another step with my game that'll set me up for the next level, which was professional basketball. So the combination of those things, I ended up at Oregon, and yeah.
What did the talks look like in the transfer portal? What was NIL decisions looking like for you?
Like I said, I didn't want that to even be discussed until until I decided that this school was a good fit basketball wise. So I wasn't going to talk NIL and let that determine like what schools. I used the basketball side to filter out a smaller group of schools that I was interested in. Like we talk about fit, somewhere where I think like going to make the tournament. I'm going to get that experience. And then from there, I'm not going to negate NIL at all, right? Like obviously making that chunk of money is huge and can set you up for a while. But let's focus on basketball first, and then once I know that's a good fit.
Eventually you decide Oregon.
Oregon, yeah.
And then it was last year, so NIL has opened up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what does that look like for a player?
I mean, I didn't have an agent at the time, so it's kind of me and my family. Yeah. My parents were really good about it. They've never pushed me or guided me in a direction. They're here to support.
You also got the economics degree.
Yeah. They always stress they're just here to support. If I have questions, they'll listen, give me their opinion. But for the most part, I was able to just kind of find my own path and make the decision I want. So that's what I ended up doing. Obviously, NIL, I already knew where I want, like the schools I wanted to go to for basketball. And the NIL that was kind of the last piece of, I'm not going to shortchange myself in that front. But
did you guys go to the tournament at Oregon?
Yeah, we did.
You guys lost in the second round?
You beat Liberty and then lost to Arizona, right?
Yeah.
So what was it like to go into the tournament? You said you had this goal of reaching the tournament. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing experience. We obviously, that team, we got off to a great start. We started 10-0, won the Players Era tournament in Vegas. We were a top 10 team in the country. So, I mean, it was more than just the tournament. It was like winning at that level. It's like, wow, we're a top 10 team in the country right now. And like it's all the things like I could have asked for in terms of winning. So obviously would have liked to play a little better, and there's no excuses for that. But yeah, it was a great experience.
What was different about Oregon on the court than Stanford?
It's tough because we were really talented at Stanford, and it still frustrates me to this day. I think that staff too, that we just couldn't put it together. And at Oregon, I couldn't tell you. We were talented. We were really talented. We played hard, and yeah, we got rolling and kind of didn't really look back from there. I ended up getting hurt in the middle of that Oregon year. I played the whole year out, but definitely wasn't myself. Tore my meniscus in the Stanford game around Christmas.
Against Stanford, you tore your meniscus?
Yeah.
That's
that
brutal.
Sucks. And then, I mean, like I said, I've never been to a tournament where a top 10 team, I was never just going to mail it in and sit out the rest of the year. So kind of played and, yeah, obviously didn't play great down the stretch. And there's no excuse for that. But, yeah, definitely. It was a good learning experience because, I mean, things were going wrong. Like, it was not what I envisioned personally how that year would go.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the complete opposite. It's probably the most frustrated I've ever been with basketball. And like I didn't do a great job of keeping it on the court. Kind of bled off, the frustrations led off the court. I was sitting at home frustrated. Everything I was doing was I was just mad at myself. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just mad at myself. Like I'm the one in control, and I wasn't doing what I wanted. It's frustrating. Like the work never changed, which I can say I'm proud. And that's the only thing that keeps me grounded and literally from going insane. Was I know I'm putting in the work. That hasn't changed, and I just couldn't put it together on the court, which it was infuriating. Like the most frustrated I've ever been with basketball. But that's
Well, you talk
that's
about
life.
Off the court. What did you do at Oregon for off the court?
Not enough, to be honest. I think
Was there any degree or anything?
I was gonna leave right after season ended anyway, so I wasn't gonna have time to finish anything, and I was gonna get ready for the draft or for the pre-draft cycle. I ended up having to come back because I got surgery, and I stayed there to do rehab. Super grateful for them, like letting me use the facilities and all that in the rehab. But yeah, I didn't do enough on the court. So like I said earlier, when basketball was going bad, everything just felt bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no way to take my mind off it. I mean, I'd come back, shoot every single night at 7, 8 p.m. and then go home and be annoyed. Like. And the cycle was just a vicious cycle of frustration, anger, and it's like I knew I was so much better than what I was showing, and like going from my last year at Stanford, felt like I had a ton of momentum to just felt like a huge like regression in my mind, and yeah, I feel like I had one of the best off seasons I ever had after my last year at Stanford. Went and worked out with a pre-draft group in LA, and I was by far in the best shape of my life. My game, I was in the best spot basketball-wise in my life, and then to see it kind of just almost fall off a cliff, like that's part of the frustration. It's like the expectation for myself was so high. But yeah, it was a great learning experience. At the end of the day, you can't go back and change the past. Do I wish it was different? Absolutely. Does it still frustrate me? Yeah. But it was a great experience. Super grateful for my time there, an opportunity. The coaching staff, once again, was really good. They did everything they could to try to keep me good, keep me grounded, keep me balanced, and moving forward. But I just didn't play well enough, and I'll probably always be a little frustrated about that year. But at the end of the day, things happen for a reason. You can't sit and dwell, and I'm here now and playing better than I was last year. So it all worked itself out. So learn what you can from that situation, and then leave it in the past. Can't control the past, and let's just focus one day at a time, keep moving forward.
So you have this if in your personal life, a rough year at Oregon in terms of the sense of, as you said, if it wasn't going great on the court, it wasn't going great off the court for you. However, you finish it. You guys unfortunately lose in the second round of the tournament, and then you start looking pro. So talk us through what that kind of process was for you. I mean, you end up playing in the summer league with Phoenix, stuff like that. What was the draft process like? What was all of this like?
Well, that process kind of all got changed. I get surgery after season. So I got surgery right after season, and then kind of had to rush through the rehab to get back for summer league. Obviously, let's be honest about it, there was less opportunity because the way I played. If I would have played the same way I did the year at Stanford, it would have had way more opportunity, right? That's life, that's basketball, that's the business. But that didn't happen, and I kind of knew once the season ended, it was, all right, let's close that book, and I just need to focus on getting back to where I was. Get better, put in the work, and then whatever happens, right?
How long was the rehab?
Probably, it's a 6 to 8 week thing. You don't feel great after 6 weeks, but good enough, cleared to play.
Like you could play. Did you think about doing it during the season or no?
I was never gonna step off the court. There's no way. I've never missed a game. I've missed one game in college when I broke my hand. I was out for 7 days. They gave me an option to get surgery, put a screw in, said it'll feel broke, but it won't get worse. And broke my hand, got surgery, and then played in the Bahamas the next week.
Jesus.
I mean, I don't
It's
like
like
missing
Mikal
games.
Bridges.
I don't like missing practice. That's just I don't believe that's the right thing to do. If you can step on the court without making it worse, you go play and compete. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not an individual sport; it's a team sport. So whatever you can help the team, like I believe you go and help the team.
But does it feel like you're helping the team if you're not at 100%?
I mean, it's a great question. I think being out there, I could still contribute. If I was so bad, then it's the coach decision.
Right.
If I'm playing so bad and like I'm unable to play, then take me out of the game. But I'm not gonna hold myself out of the game. That's not my decision to make.
Did you feel healthy or no?
When?
In Oregon?
No.
No.
No. I mean, I couldn't. We used to joke around with our athletic trainer, like, oh, it's a bad day. I couldn't reach back and wipe my shoe. Like, I had no range of motion. It's someone jab steps, they drove to their right. I might be in trouble. I can't really push. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Get out there and compete. And yeah, looking back, I can't live with regrets.
So you wait for the season to end.
Get surgery.
Then you get the surgery.
Yeah, get surgery, and then I ended up getting an opportunity to play summer league, which was great. I mean, I was super grateful for the opportunity, and it was an amazing opportunity. Kind of, like I said, it ends up working itself out, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that didn't happen, maybe I would be a little more frustrated, but I got the opportunity, and then that kind of turned into a good opportunity out here. So,
well, what was the experience like in summer league with the Suns organization?
The organization was amazing. They treated us great. We were out there for a week or so before, practiced hard, and kind of just it shows you where you stack up against guys, the other top level talent. I mean, the speed of the game's obviously really different, a lot faster. But at the end of the day, it's an opportunity to compete.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, wasn't starting in summer league, wasn't playing significant minutes at times. So, I mean, practices felt like games. Like that was your opportunity. So, I mean, when you're scrimmaging in practice hard and give yourself a chance. So
And
just make the most of the opportunity.
When summer league ended, did you get any calls for G League or anything?
Yeah, that was definitely on the table. And for a while, I thought that's what I was going to end up doing. And then this opportunity came along to come out here. And yeah, I ended up deciding that this is kind of what my agent, what we thought was best, like for my future. Ended up deciding to take that.
So your first year out of college, and now we're in 2025. Now we're in 2026, but in 2025, you had to make this decision. And a lot of people are debating what's the route to go on. And I think everyone has their own route to take. But I think more people are getting open to going first to the overseas right out of school. What kind of hindered your decision to go straight overseas?
I mean, to be frank, like part of it's the money and the opportunity over here. I think coming to a situation where I would have more of an opportunity to make sure I'm on the court. I know at times, like talking to a ton of people, G League can be political at times. Like if you're not one of the two-way guys, like they're going to be able to focus, rightfully so, right? The team's invested in them.
Right.
But I knew coming out here, I had an opportunity. And at the end of the day, if you're playing really well and you're talented, you'll find your way back, right? Like the NBA is probably the best evaluator of talent in the world.
Yeah.
Like, so I felt like this was just the best opportunity. And not just for this year, but I could use this to keep building. And that was just a better path. And obviously it wasn't a rash decision, but like I think I'm an extremely logical person. I like to evaluate decisions objectively, keep the emotion out of it. And when I did that, it just felt like this was the best choice for me.
You said that you talked to other guys who went in the G League and did the G League path?
Yeah, I've had teammates who have played in the G League, guys who are on two ways and how their experience was. And yeah, it just felt like it made more sense.
It's really interesting.
Not knocking the G League. It's obviously great basketball. And like you said, everyone's path's different.
Right.
And that's obviously you're being evaluated by a team every day and you're part of their organization. But I just felt like this was the best opportunity for me.
So before we get to your first year overseas, we're going to stop and do this little segment called Myth versus Fact.
Let's do it.
We're going to just give you like a sentence and you decide whether it's a myth or fact and elaborate. So myth or fact, college success guarantees pro success.
Myth. I mean, things can change pretty quick. You could have a ton of success in college and Something could change mentally. Something could change off the court. Maybe the success gets to your head. You stop working as hard. And, I mean, you stop putting in the work, things will change quick. I think so, at least. Also, sometimes the game, it's a different game here versus in college for sure. If you can't find a way to adapt quickly out here, then maybe your opportunity gets cut short and you're on a shorter leash, and then it kind of snowballs. So, no, I don't think it guarantees success at all, I think. I believe if you're a good player, you'll make it work, wherever you end up.
Myth or fact, rookies get time to adjust overseas?
Myth. I think you have a little bit of you're expected, you have a little bit of time it's going to take to adjust, but at the end of the day, like, it's a business, it's your job, right? Like, the team needs to win, and if you're not contributing to winning or showing that pretty soon you'll contribute to winning, it's not, you're on an even playing field. Everyone's a pro. Once you turn pro, everyone's a pro, and you need to be a pro and handle business.
So, myth or fact, playing abroad feels like an adventure?
Fact. Fact. It's definitely an adventure. You move overseas, you get off the plane, you're in a country, at least here, I've never been to before. Yeah, it is an adventure. The first week, it's an adventure to find the grocery store. It's an adventure to figure out what to eat. It's an adventure to figure out how to get to practice. It's not even the living on your own. It's just all the little things you don't think about that are different. So, yeah, absolutely fact. It's an adventure.
All right, last one. Myth or fact, if you're scoring, everything else is easy?
No, myth. Absolutely a myth. You could be, if you're scoring 20 and giving up 30, the other side of the ball is not easy. And I think, kind of circling this back to basketball, I think when you're not scoring, like, the easiest way to start scoring again is to worry about not scoring, if that makes sense. Like, if you're not scoring the ball, if you start thinking like, I need to score, that's like, I think that's the worst mindset.
Let the game come to you.
Yeah, but it's focus on what you can control. Defend, go rebound the ball, compete and play as hard as you possibly can. Be a good teammate, make the right plays, and eventually the scoring part will just come. It's part of the game. So, yeah, scoring does not determine, what was the original question? Scoring makes everything else easier?
Yeah.
No, scoring does not make everything else easier. And if scoring does, then there's probably a problem, because relying on scoring to get yourself going isn't a sustainable approach.
So we talk about the adventure of going overseas, and you get over here off that flight super far from home. You know, it's a 10-hour time difference, right?
Yeah.
And you get here. What was that like, getting off the plane?
Rom, our manager, actually picked me up from the airport. Shout out Rom. Daniel, they picked me up and drove me back, make sure we were situated in the apartment. And then I ordered a pizza that first night, got it delivered. And I think that might have been the only meal I ate in the first 24 hours I was here. Hadn't made my way to the grocery store yet. And then, yeah, the adjustment was just the off the court stuff. It was, making sure you have nutrition, water, that kind of stuff that I wasn't prepared for. But I think I'm fine living on my own, the independent part. I'll figure it out. But didn't have a car the first day I got here, so was kind of hamstrung there a little bit. But no, it ended up working out. It was fun. Just adjust as quick as you can. And then, we had practice the next day, so that was kind of getting a rhythm quick versus sitting around waiting. You get in a rhythm, start moving in your apartment, make it feel like a home, and then from there, the rest is history.
All right. So what's maybe harder than you expected being overseas?
I think, like you said, occupying the time. We've kind of circled back to that a couple times. In the mornings here, like, everyone from home's asleep, so it's like finding a way to entertain yourself in the morning and not just sit around all day until practice. Like, Go outside, go for a walk, go explore something new, like go see something new, walk around the mall. Just finding something to occupy your time.
Have you been able to find anything?
No, I'm not a big, during the season, I don't really get out and do as much. Even when there's opportunity to do stuff, it's like when it's a season, it's
Maybe
let's
do
recover,
another
let's get healthy.
thesis
No. Yeah, not now.
That was a
Not
hard
now.
no.
No. That's not a free time activity. But yeah, I mean, no, I find some stuff to do. But normally, I mean, with practice, games, this part of the year, it's just want to make sure the body feels good, take care of the body, make sure I'm getting the rest. Nutrition is probably the biggest thing, and that obviously occupies cooking 2 meals a week or 2 meals a day. Sorry, 2 to 3 meals probably. So I mean that occupies time, gives you something to do, and I guess you could meal prep for the week, but like I said, what else do I have to do? So I might as well kill
Meal prep
another
saves
30
time. You
minutes
don't
or an
wanna do
hour.
that.
No. Don't buy enough groceries for the week. Make sure you're going to the store 4 times a week. Get out of the house. So yeah.
You've been here for a little bit now. So have you started to feel like you almost would say belong or not there yet?
No, absolutely feel comfortable, feel like you belong here. It's funny. The first FIBA break, got to leave quick, and landing back at the Tel Aviv airport, it felt like more so like, oh, I'm back home.
Nice.
When
Already.
When you're back home. Yeah, I mean, you have the routine here, you have your apartment, teams here. Like literally, this is just like your life now, right? Like obviously you have life in America, but this is life. Like this is where I live. This is where I play basketball. So yeah, this definitely feels like home at this
what
point.
about Israel has made it easy to kind of adjust to it being home?
I think in a way it's really Americanized, right? So you're somewhere where people can speak English, help you, and everything kind of not looks the same, but you're not just, you can read signs on the road.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things, the grocery store is similar, and obviously the culture is a little different, but it's not like a super tough adjustment in the sense of you have no clue, like you can't speak to anyone else. Like the people here are super helpful. Like you're stuck at the grocery store, to help you out. Like most people speak English enough to kind of bridge the gap when you're lost, and having obviously everyone on the team has been able to help us if there's anything we needed. So that adjustment's been easy.
So was there anything like you hear Israel and you get that call and you decide to come here, but there's all this stuff in the media and everything that you hear of Israel? Were you able to talk to anyone who maybe came here before, or what kind of led you to feel comfortable in coming here?
Yeah, I mean, right when I got the call about Israel from my agent, obviously you see what you see in American media, and you kind of know, following that was closer to the time when there was war, there was issues with Iran. So yeah, it's in the back of your mind. And my agent said, like I wouldn't send you somewhere that I didn't feel comfortable sending a player. So I trust him and that he wouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, like I'm gonna do my own checks. And there is actually someone who played for Beersheba last year that I reached out to, played against in summer league, and I mean he's playing somewhere else now, so he had no reason to tell me what I wanted to hear, right? Like it's not like you could ask. Obviously, knowing the team now and the staff and management, they would never lie. They are straight shooters. But at the time, I didn't know anyone, and if they might be more inclined to tell you what you want to hear. So yeah, asking people who have been here, and they say, yeah, like at no point I felt unsafe. Whether there's some family friends who've been to Israel or theirs, yeah, I felt completely safe. And kind of the more and more I heard that in those couple of days, okay, like yeah, like I was never. The people who were telling me that it's okay to come here, I believed, and then hearing that for myself, it was, okay, this is a decision I feel comfortable making.
So you have this Oregon year where you get hurt and it wasn't so successful, but then you get the surgery, go to summer league, and now you're here. You're in the first league in Israel, which some people would say is a pretty tough league. It's a really good league overseas, and you're hooping. You're averaging 17 and 8 if you want to come down to the numbers, and like you're playing at a high level. What has made you feel so comfortable in this league, and are you just feeling a lot healthier this year?
I definitely feel more comfortable. I think part of it, like, is just enjoying, loving playing the game, like just having fun. As much as cliche and simple as that sounds, just like being on the court. Obviously, there's different like stress and pressures as a pro, but just like playing basketball and not worrying about all the other stuff. It's like the most free I felt in the past year, which is amazing. I mean, it's a great feeling, but there's definitely an adjustment, and like the game's more physical, the tempo, more screens, different actions. But I think having the staff here helped with the transition. They've gave me freedom. I was able to make mistakes still do. I think there's still a lot to learn out here, and also teammates that, I mean, I think I said after last game's interview, like, I think we have an unbelievable locker room and a great group of guys. And that's what's made this so easy. When you have guys, you miss a shot, hey, next one's down. You're like, keep going. Like, I need you to get going. Or like, everyone wants what's best for each other, and everyone wants to see everyone else succeed. Where I think there's situations that I've heard where people are kind of out for their own. Like, I honestly don't think we have a single player that isn't making the extra pass, isn't doing what's best for the team. So that just makes it so much easier when you're able to, and you have a whole locker room to lean on. You have guys in the court you can lean on when things are going bad. And so having coaches and teammates that instill confidence in you and help you develop and want to see you succeed, I think that's been the biggest thing. It's made the transition a lot easier and allowed me to play a lot more free.
And being overseas, you got to get a little bit of a taste of guys in and out. So how has that been for you with like guys leaving, guys coming during a season?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Obviously, you don't see that turnover as much in college. I mean, maybe at the end of the year, but the turnover in the season is different. But I mean, it's a job at the end of the day, right? It's a business, and it's just part of it. So control what you can control. I mean, I'm not the GM, I'm not the coach. I'm here to do my job and to play. And so I'm going to try to play, work as hard as I can, and at the end of the day, whatever happens, happens. Like I said, it's outside my control.
Do you have a goal you set for yourself for the rest of the season, or a goal from the beginning of the season that you're still striving towards?
No. I mean, I just want to, like I said, make the most of my opportunity and maximize my potential, I think, is the best way to look at it. Goals are always a shifting goalpost. Once you achieve it, you just move the goalpost further and further. So, I mean, I think the best possible goal, the one that you'll never reach, is to maximize your potential. And if you did that, you've accomplished every other thing along the way, right? That's the furthest you can move the goalpost, is to be the best version of yourself. So, I mean, just take things one game at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. If you start chasing numbers and stats, then everything else, it just makes everything more difficult. At the end of the day, if you handle your business, you play well, you'll have more opportunity and you'll get better. So work hard, play as hard as you can, and each game try to come out of there with the best possible result, and everything else takes care of itself.
We talked about this a couple of times, but here basketball is the only thing that you're doing. So on a off night where you're not feeling it and you're alone overseas, what's something that has kind of helped you stay like steady?
I mean, I'm a pretty miserable person to be around after those games and after losses. Like, probably used to be a little worse, but like, I can't really interact with people that night. But I think now I've learned I'll give myself to the next day, and then it's done. There's, like, I used to drag on during the week. No, it's done. But that night, yeah, I'll be frustrated. I probably can't really sleep after games, win or lose. But I mean, I'll talk to my parents sometimes, but normally they know after games, they'll give me my space, and I'll watch the game back and I just need to find a way to get to sleep and turn the page. Because I mean, even in high school, talking about a game right after it happened, there's emotion involved, and you're not seeing things clearly. Whereas you kind of separate from the frustration. Now it's, all right, let's go watch the film. Let's try to find some things. Here's what worked. And watching film after tough games, like, yeah, it's not nice to watch, right? Like, there's a lot of mistakes, but it's, all right, here's what I did wrong. Like, now let's fix it, right? Like, find out what you did wrong, find out how to, like, prevent that from happening again. So just finding ways to not dwell on the game, can be frustrated, and then turn the page. So that's kind of my thing, is the 24-hour mark, or that night. When you wake up the next day, it's done. I'm not going to sit here and still be frustrated about it. Sure, but it's not going to impact my days moving forward. Let's go back to work, go back to practice. But yeah, I'll talk to my family if I feel like talking to people. My girlfriend, she's amazing, super supportive, and I can always give her a call. And to be honest, that kind of helps separate it from basketball. She was an athlete herself, played volleyball at Stanford, really good athlete. So she understands, has the same mindset, crazy competitor as well. And she knows what you want and don't want to hear after the game. I don't want someone to tell me I did great when I played terrible. So we just kind of stay away from that. And yeah, it's nice to sometimes just separate, give you a quick break from basketball. having people around who are supportive. I know I have people I can rely on if I want, and they're there unconditionally whenever I need. So super grateful for that. But sometimes, I want to be alone. Sometimes I want to talk, but handle it, get the emotion out of the way, and turn the page.
So talking about being in Israel, do you see yourself being here for a few years, or what kind of what's Brandon Angel's future look like?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I think, like I said, it kind of goes back to the one game at a time thing. If you start thinking about next year in the middle of the year, like there's still a lot this team we want to achieve. There's a lot of basketball left to be played, and at the end of the year, I'll evaluate my options and find out like what's the best decision moving forward. But it kind of depends on how you play, right? You keep playing well, you give yourself opportunity, and you stop playing well, you take away your opportunity. So there's no real point, I think, of looking that far ahead. It's just be where your feet are day by day. Let's focus on the task at hand, and that kind of solves all the problems moving forward.
So as a guy who went 4 years at Stanford, a year at Oregon, this is your first year overseas, so this is very fresh for you. What's some advice that you would give a guy coming out of college looking towards his pro career?
First is like just be somewhere that's a good fit. I mean, that was a big thing in college. I mean, it's finding somewhere that's a good fit, but especially out here, somewhere where the coaching staff believe in you, good teammates, and a good role and opportunity that is best for you, right? Like what's best for me might not be best for someone else. Like everyone's style of play is different. And then trying to adapt as quick as possible. It's going to be a different style of basketball. You may be you may be expected to do things you weren't expected to do in the past, and your role might be different. But once you're here, I think the worst thing you can do is try to fight back and resist. Because at the end of the day, you're not the one in control, right? Like you do what's asked of you to the best of your ability and leave everything else. Your opinions don't really matter as much, right? Like I'm not the coach, I'm not the GM. Like I'm here to play, and whatever's asked, like at the end of the day, it's a team sport. So you need to do whatever's asked you, what's best for the team. And also like if you can have a locker room like this, I think I'm fortunate that this was my first year, and I don't think I have enough experience to really share what's best. But if you can, be close to the guys, like have a team like this, it just makes the transition so much easier. I know it beats sitting alone. So whether it's, we try to go out, grab meals as a team, hang out as a team. Even just sitting BSing around the locker room. It's great memories, good times.
As we wrap up every single episode, we do this little shot clock segment. So we're going to throw out 24 seconds, and you answer as fast as you can.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Bamba or Bisley?
Huh?
Favorite Hebrew word?
Bamba.
Shawarma or falafel?
Shawarma.
Mountains or beaches?
Beaches.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Favorite basketball move?
Made swish. Made shot.
Warm-up song?
Don't have one.
Favorite artist?
Don't have one.
All right. Nice. What was that? We got one answer?
We can write it back if you
No, it's chill. Don't worry.
All right. So that's the Baseline Podcast with Brandon Angel. We really appreciate you for being on the show. And
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you.